I'm going to show you two videos that white liberals absolutely don't want you to see, and they're completely freaking out about. And these are getting more and more common. So you have to watch this. Stick around for both. These are unbelievable.
I think black people are not irredeemable, but there just needs to be brutal honesty. It's like, look, these black people are really struggling and they're turning into these maniacs. It seems like they don't do anything right. They're obnoxious, they're rude, they're inconsiderate, aggressive, cruel. And, you know, look, nobody hates black people for being black. If there are people like that, I think that's exceedingly rare. And I don't consider myself one of them. The reason that people have negative attitudes about black people is because most people's interactions with black people are negative. Most people's interactions with black people is when you're stuck in traffic and you see a Nissan Altima speeding down the shoulder. And you say, what the fuck? You're not supposed to do that. If everybody did that, it would just be another lane. And, you know, not everybody can do that. But it's like these people have no respect for decorum. They think the rules don't apply to them. They have no respect for society. Like that's their interaction is they are a waiter and they wait on a black table and the black people don't tip and they're fucking rude. Like that's most people's interactions. It's stuff like that. They go to the DMV and they see a black person behind the counter and they say, oh, here we go. And the person's rude. Now, it just goes to show people are not racist. It goes to show people don't like people that are rude. That people don't, it's unpleasant. People want to be treated with consideration and respect. And it is true that black people are, in this day and age, unfortunately, seem to have very low moral character. It's not even just the violence, although the violence is pretty striking. If you live your life and you know that you're going to be mugged by black people, it kind of colors your opinion or perception of black people, wouldn't you say? If 99% of the carjackings and stabbings and shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people, when you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people. And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know? That's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say, black people, oh, yes, dude, yes. My day is about to turn around for the better. What can I help you with, sir? Please, come right on in. Man.
Why is he this way?
Hey, Nick crazy for real, bro.
Why you enjoy that so much?
Hey,
He
bro.
did.
Nah,
I ain't gonna lie, he had some points.
Bro.
I won't lie, he made a lot of valid points.
Nigga's crazy, bro. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I gotta see the comments after this, bro.
I think he made a lot of valid points.
Wow, bro.
See, and I'll play a bit more of this, but what's interesting is look at these three black guys listening to this, and I don't talk like Nick Fuentes at all. He's not one of my favorite guys, but he's just one of these guys who just rants like whatever comes into his head. And here are this is why the white liberals don't want you to see this. It's not they don't want you to see this video. They don't want you to realize that there are black people and people from all over the place who would listen to this and say, you know what, there are some points in here that I agree with, and be able to take it in stride, laugh about it, and kind of say, hey, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? And that's what they don't want you to see. They want you to think every black person would hate this. And, you know, like they don't want you to realize that, you know, some people don't like the negative behavior of some of their own race or culture or whatever. And which I will be pointing out, and I don't like some of the behavior in my culture, which I will point out as well. I have no problems doing that. I did in the last video or 2 videos ago, and I will again. But just I'm gonna play this just a little bit more, and then I'm gonna show you the next video, which is also awesome.
Like, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist, you're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior. If black people were super well behaved, we would be racist in the other direction. We'd say,
Go click that tweet.
She's black.
Click this tweet. Click the tweet. Yes, this is what I was getting ready to say. There's two different races of black people here. We have regular black people, like us here, and then we have Gus.
And out of
And he described option B there.
Well, I mean, he lives in Chicago, so I'm sure
There's a lot of them there.
Yeah.
and how
But
many,
there is a difference. Like, I'm sorry, but there is a difference.
Hold on. What
It's nothing to
percent
be
of
sorry
us?
for. There is a difference.
What percent
It's
of
two
us?
different races of people completely.
It is. But what percent of us are?
I don't know. A lot.
What estimate?
50,
I would say
55.
nah,
45.
not even that high. I would say like I don't know what I would say. I don't know how many, but I know
I would
that
say about 70.
nah,
70's too high.
nah.
He's saying 70% of black people in the U.S. are just this brutal kind. That's what he's saying. I have no idea if it's that high. I don't even live there, but it's unbelievable. Now, it's unbelievable in a good way that they're at least calling it out and being able to take it calmly or actually have a conversation. This is what the lefties don't want you to see. They would never play those guys on a mainstream channel because it would freak everybody out. Now watch this. I love this. This guy's amazing. He does a similar thing. He calls, he just calls it as he sees it, but a lot of times it's calling out negative behavior of his own community, and he's trying to clean it up. And that's what I'm trying to do on all sides as well. So watch this one.
Give zero about your guys' feelings, and I will come on here and say all the uncomfortable truths that everybody knows is true, but absolutely nobody will talk about. Black people are the most racist individuals that there is in 2025. As a white person, I certainly can't go to a black community and feel safe. But when they come to white communities, it's like they're in Disneyland. I used to be an addict, so every time I'd go down to Newark, I would have to make sure I was strapped. I don't think they have to feel the same way about going out in a white community. Matter of fact, they can come here and say whatever they want. They can call me white boy this, white boy that, white whatever the and I'm just simply not going to comply with the double standard. I genuinely do not care one bit about your guys' feelings, and I'll tell you the truth. And the truth is, in 2025, white kids are being raised to be accepting individuals, and it's not the other way around. And everybody knows that.
And
Oh, I'll show you this. One sec. 1 second here.
he's absolutely right. I gotta be objective. I gotta call a spade a spade. And I think that there is some nuance here. So let's go ahead and get the pleasantries out of the way. Of course, there are some still racist white people. Of course, there are racist black people. Of course, there are some white people that raise their children to be a little bit more.
He's just saying all the
Now
obvious
that we got
stuff.
the pleasantries out of the way, let's ask ourselves this question: is it the truth? Is it the truth, and why? And I think that the why is what we then explore after we evaluate if it's the truth. And from my perspective, as a black person that, understand that we have to be a part of the Democrat plantation, and, that the label, because I mean, be honest with you, like, I get called out of my name because I'm objective enough to actually see the truth from what it is, and I divest myself from the idea that all white people are bad, or all Jewish people are bad, or all this is bad. And so when we then get rid of that mentality, you start to see it. The veil is lifted from your eyes. And if you go into some of these households and you talk amongst these circles, and white people are now being able to see it for themselves because racist black people feel comfortable saying whatever it is that they want to say. And when he even described the whole idea of they can say white boy this, white boy that, if you say black boy this, black boy that as a white person, you are 1000% going to be labeled as racist. White people are labeled as racist before they ever even open up their mouth. If black people think you stare at them wrong, you racist. If you didn't get the job, you racist. If you are called out on
So my main point with all this, I'm going to link both of these channels, and there are a lot more, is what I love about this is, again, these black guys, there are women doing it too. It's not just black, it's all over, are saying, I get what you're saying. They're even listening to pretty extreme sounding, like overly blunt, I hate this. And they're like, you know what? You have a point. I actually agree. I'm noticing this. I want to call it out. That's the only way we're going to get by this, is just brutal honesty, and then recommending people that are like this and calling it out instead of saying nobody calls it out. Well, this guy does, the other ones do. So I want to commend people like that for having an honest conversation. Very impressed. And again, the liberals just don't want you to see this, because they don't want you to know that this type of person exists. They want to keep, the race animosity going. So this is great. Both of these reactions by them are terrific, and I'm going to be promoting positive things that I see online. Hopefully you like, subscribe, comment. Love to know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.